Alright guys, with Will Russell here. Today I'm going to be reviewing Money in the Bank 2018. Now firstly, before I start the review, I do want to prefix again, as I did in my NXT TakeOver Chicago review, I'm at home, I'm in my bedroom, so the lighting's not incredible. I'm doing this on my iPad, so the audio quality won't be incredible either. I do apologise for that. Just thought I'd say that again to anybody who hasn't seen my Chicago review. If you haven't seen my Chicago review, please check it out. I'd appreciate the like, the view, the subscribe. If you haven't seen NXT TakeOver Chicago 2, what are you doing? Go and watch it, it's great. And yeah, I suppose we should get into this Money in the Bank 2018 review. So the pre-show match, I better get this card up because I'm having a bit of a moment. The pre-show match, I actually watched this time. I was an idiot and I did watch the pre-show match. I believe it was... I'm so sorry, I should be so much more prepared than this. I have a drink. I have a drink though today. I have a Ronda Rousey shirt on, so I have an appropriate T-shirt for the for the episode. As yesterday, I wore like a Quadrophenia T-shirt. Boom, results. So we're on. So the pre-show match was the Bludgeon Brothers, obviously Harper and Rowan defending the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles against the Club, Gallows and Anderson. This was okay. Like again, nothing. It's a pre-show match. Nothing really happened. The Club came out looking strong off the bat. Really, like. They attacked Harper and Rowan. They went right to him. They kept the pace up. I think because they knew that they need to keep both men down, both men occupied, so you know neither could control the match. Towards the end of the match, they went for the Magic Killer. Rowan comes in and spears Carl Anderson out of the way. The two men, then Harper and Rowan go after Luke Gallows. They hit the bludgeoning, which is that double team powerbomb, and they pin Luke Gallows for the 1-2-3. 2.5 stars. It was your classic kind of pre-show match on a pay-per-view. That Fanta's really watery. Opening match of the card, Daniel Bryan against Big Cass. Now their match of Backlash was pointless. It had no drama, had no tension really, and obviously Bryan won in about 7 minutes. This match went longer. It was better. It wasn't amazing. Probably Big Cass's best singles match to date, which it should be, is with Daniel Bryan. But I don't know, there was a little bit more to this one. I felt like I was a bit more invested in this. It played out well. I think Daniel Bryan was excellent here. Big Cass was an utter douchebag. It all, you know, in the end revolved around Big Cass's leg and Daniel Bryan wanting to hook in the heel hook and make him tap again. At one point, Bryan did lock in the S-lock and Cass got to the ropes, and Cass, you know, he fought back against Bryan as Bryan went for the IED drop kicks in the corner, the kind of Austin Aries drop kicks. And Cass basically caught him at one point, pushed him in the air. Bryan went face first into the mat, and then Cass hit the big boot, but Bryan kicked out. And then in the end, the cockiness of Big Cass would cost him. He went for the running boot again. Bryan ducks it, went into the corner, hit the running single leg knee, and then salivated for a moment as he put on the heel hook. He put it on. Big Cass fought for a second, tried to crawl towards the ropes, realised they were too far away, and then tapped out very, very quickly. So I'll tell you what, good finish to a matchup that I didn't have a lot of expectations for, and it did overshoot them. Good match. Good match. I'm going to give it some credit. Good match. 3 stars. Good match. Well done, Big Cass. You've got nothing, but well done, Big Cass. Second match on the card, Lashley and Sami Zayn. This is one I'm not going to be excited about. This feud has been stupid. It's been a waste of both men's talents, not just Sami Zayn's. And now it's over, and I am glad. This feud has been ridiculously poor, and this matchup was nothing. And it makes me think, why did they book the feud in the first place if this match was going to be nothing as it was? It lasted 6 minutes. Lashley, I mean, Zayn was cocky and smart and intelligent, and he ran around the ring for a bit and he pissed off Bobby Lashley. Zayn hit, honestly, nothing though, in terms of his arsenal. He did nothing. No exploders, no Blue Thunderbomb, no Helluva Kick, no Cody Clutch. There was nothing in this match. Bobby Lashley hit 3 standing vertical suplexes, stalling suplexes, sorry, as I call them, and pinned him with one arm, and that was it. I don't think this is a complete burial of Sami Zayn, and it's not even like I like Sami Zayn. I'm annoyed he's buried. I'm annoyed that WWE would bury anybody, but this seemed like a match that actually could have been pretty good. Sami Zayn is a great worker. I think Bobby Lashley can have great matches with some great workers. I've seen some of his stuff in TNA with guys like Eddie Edwards. That's great. and I thought this was a waste of two potential guys who could have had a really good match. 2 stars. This was genuinely nothing, and I don't think either man came out of this looking stronger. Happiness, though, a little bit more. We had the IC title match, Seth Rollins and Elias. This was actually, up to this point, by far the best match on the show. I think this is probably the best match Elias has had in WWE. It's with Seth Rollins, so there's a certain amount you can say this was like Seth Rollins' match. Like the match at Backlash with Miz, which was great. It was the best match on the show by a mile. That was Seth Rollins' match. Miz was just there. This match, again, Elias was kind of just there. But, you know, I suppose you've got to be just there. Sometimes, when you are as inexperienced as a guy like Elias is, and he's not totally green, I think he's been in the business for, I'm going to say, I'll be nice and say maybe like 5, 6, 7 years. You need somebody to carry you in big matches, and this is obviously the biggest match probably of Elias' career. And I think that, you know, if you're in there with a guy like Seth Rollins, you know you're going to get carried to a pretty good matchup. And I think Rollins did his best to give Elias the best match of his career, and I think he did. Great. There was some great back and forth. Like, there were moments, honestly, where you had a feeling Elias would win. And just some great spots. Rollins obviously doing the superplex off the top into the Falcon's Arrow was great, and Elias had this fantastic little segment when Rollins went for a tope to him outside of the ring. Elias moved, sent him into the barricade, sent him into the ring post, sent him into the steps, threw him in the ring, and then hit that heat-seeking elbow drop from the top rope. That, honestly, was a moment where you thought Elias was probably going to take the title. But in the end, it was genius from Seth Rollins to sneakily win the title. He pulled off, obviously Rollins had hit all of his stuff, buckle bomb, super kick. Oh no, he went for the buckle bomb, but his knee buckled out of the way. Elias went for the drift away. Rollins countered that into a schoolboy. Towards the end of the matchup, Rollins went for another schoolboy as Elias was getting in the ring. And then Elias got an O'Connor roll. Rollins rolled through, grabbed the tights. 1, 2, 3. Rollins wins with the tights. So kind of a heelish move. But I like the idea that maybe our babyface can adopt that style of I need to win by all means necessary. Rollins should not lose this belt for a while. Rollins at the minute is probably the best thing on the main roster. You know, Braun Strowman and you know, your Samoa Joes and stuff like that, and Bryan and Styles and stuff like that. But Rollins is probably the best thing going on the main roster at the minute. So, and keeping him with this belt and keeping him as this workhorse champion, kind of like Shawn Michaels and kind of like Cena was with the US title, I think that's a really, really good way to build your mid-card. Not just build Rollins, but build your mid-card up. I think we could have a bunch of guys just go for that belt. The Bobby Roodes, the... I had another name. The Bobby Roodes, the Finn Balor's. Those guys that need something to do. And I think that we can make something with this, I believe. But yeah, this was a very good matchup. 3.5 stars I'm going to give it. You know, wasn't... Again, like, this is the thing. I am going to compare this to Chicago just because it's the night before. It's the thing you do. You always do it with the NXT and the WWE pay-per-view. This was honestly probably better. This was... On the Chicago show, this would have been like the second best... Well, the second worst match just after the women's match. But... We'll move on. We'll move on. Sorry, I shouldn't get ahead of myself too much. So after that, we had the first Money in the Bank match of the show. It'd be the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Ember Moon, Alexa Bliss, Natalya, and... Okay, so Ember Moon, Alexa Bliss, Natalya, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Lana, and Sasha Banks. So there's 8. Sorry, I had to remember more. This was... I remember being very critical of the women's Money in the Bank ladder match last year because I thought basically every woman died on every spot. This year, I don't know why, but I felt a little bit safer. I think it's because I've seen it already, and I was like, you know what, a bunch of these women can take it. Some of them can't. Some of them got, like Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss, who took nothing. Genuinely nothing, which spoiled the match for me, actually. When I saw that somebody was taking nothing, I had a feeling who was going to win, which wasn't my pick, and I'll explain why. But, God, my throat's horrible. All the time. But, no, Alexa Bliss did nothing. You had Naomi doing all the springboards and stuff like that. You had a great cool little segment with Sasha Banks and Ember Moon, where Ember Moon went to drop toe holder into the ladder, and then Sasha stopped her Irish whipped her towards the ropes. Ember Moon did a crossbody onto Sasha onto the ladder, which was a nice little spot. You had obviously Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, who had a great little segment where they both, did their thing. I think their feud on SmackDown could be really, really exciting, and I think you don't even have to revolve that around the title now. I think you can have them have a nice little feud, like a workhorse match, while the champion does her thing. We'll get to that in a bit. But no, like the worst part about this Money in the Bank ladder match to me was it's not very memorable. I don't really remember a lot that happened, genuinely, and I think everyone else that I've seen, I've seen talk about this match already, has said, it was really, really good and all that, and I'm like, it was really, really good, but I genuinely don't remember anything. Like, it happened less than 24 hours ago, and I'm trying to remember spots off the top of my head, and it's just not really coming to me. And that sucks, because there's stuff I want to talk about and I just can't remember it. There were powerbombs into ladders, and I think Ember Moon got powerbombed into a ladder. Natalia grabbed Lana off the ladder and gave her an electric chair. Lana got in and attacked Alexa Bliss and pushed her down and gave her the big head kick. And obviously we had a double accolade from Lana as well. And, no, it wasn't a double accolade, was it? It was a single accolade on Alexa Bliss. It was the double accolade later would be in the Rusev Money ladder match, sorry. But yeah, I just don't remember a lot. In the end, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair climbed the ladder. Becky Lynch knocked Charlotte Flair off. Alexa Bliss sneaked in, pushed Alexa off the ladder, climbed up, and retrieved the briefcase. Now, Alexa Bliss, to me, was maybe the most useless winner of this match, maybe after Charlotte Flair, just because I think the briefcase is there to serve two purposes. One, it's to serve a storyline. So, I would, for example, Lana, if she had won it, then her storyline could have been her breaking up with Rusev, because Rusev didn't win it and Aiden English helped Lana win the belt with the briefcase, or something like that. The other reason that you give someone it is to elevate them to that main level status in the division. Now, Alexa Bliss is a 4-time women's champion already. So I don't think she needed the briefcase to win another belt, which we'll get to in a bit. To me, honestly, Lana would have been quite a good one. And I actually did predict Lana, I think, because I wanted to see them do something kind of new and exciting. And as much as she's the weakest worker in the match, she's not that far behind the current SmackDown Women's Champion. So if they can give her the belt, Lana's got more appeal, more like mass appeal, I suppose. I think people like Lana as this weird kind of baby face. I mean, Ember Moon would have been a better winner. I think that Becky Lynch also would have been a good winner. She hasn't really done a lot lately. But yeah, Alexa Bliss won, and I think in the end I'll give it 3.25 stars. There was stuff I remember, clearly. I think the crossbody on the ladder spot was really smart, but lovely. But yeah, there's, it was quite a... Better than last year's. Let's be positive. 3.25 stars, pretty good little Money in the Bank ladder match. Moving on, Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal, and this crowd could not give a single shit about this matchup. They were booing continuously. Y2J chants, "You both suck." NXT chants, "Velveteen Dream." This match wasn't even these guys' fault, and WWE should know not to book this match. And I said this to my friend. He said, the crowd don't care. And it was one of those things where you just think about it and you just, this is... I just said that they should never book this match. You should never be in that position to book yourself into a corner with a match like this. They have 30 writers for their team. They know what they're doing. They can book good stuff. Usually. Sometimes. A bit. This match was a total waste of time. Honestly, the only revelation was that Samir Singh isn't injured and Reigns speared him on the outside. Jinder nearly he tried cradling him in the ring. Roman got up, hit him with a spear, 1, 2, 3. There was a couple of near falls. Jinder hit a running knee, Roman hit the Superman punch, that sort of thing. But this, no tension, no nothing really. It wasn't like it was a bad match, because it wasn't. It was just nothing. So 2 stars. Same that I gave to the Lashley Zayn match. It was basically nothing, and I don't think either man came out looking better. Just a waste of time. It just didn't need to be on pay-per-view. And 15 minutes as well. Just one of those things where you think 15 minutes, for Jinder and Roman, when you know that they're going to get booed out of the building. I literally messaged my friend and said, I can smell the CM Punk chants. Like, it was... And we actually didn't get any. I think we probably did before the show. Moving on. SmackDown Women's title match now. Carmella and Asuka. Not great, to be honest. Asuka is the best women's wrestler currently on the planet, I believe. And Carmella is still the SmackDown Women's Champion. In my wrestling company, Asuka would be the Women's Champion. Like, without a doubt. It's not even close. Like, this match, it was every Carmella match I'd ever seen. Genuinely, I'm sick of this reign already. And it was better than the Charlotte match at Backlash, because I think Asuka's has got this intensity, and she hit the Shining Wizards and all these really stiff kicks, and they made you, and obviously she went after Carmella early, and it was great watching Carmella be all cocky and doing all the moonwalking stuff. And Asuka just went to town on her, and Carmella just was out of the ring, and she tried to take her belt away. She got Shining Wizarded on the apron, and that was cool. Then Carmella started to fight back, and she slowed it down, and it just kind of screeched to a halt. Carmella's heat segments aren't particularly exciting, and when they work in 11 minutes, which is what these girls did, it just didn't really grab me. You know, Carmella kept avoiding the Asuka lock, and in the end, she hit a super kick on Asuka, and Asuka kicked out. Asuka took control. Eventually, somebody came to the ring dressed as Asuka, so the mask, the robe, everything. Everybody knew it was James Ellsworth, because they leaked it, basically. Oh, James Ellsworth has pulled out of this China show. I think as soon as that happened, everybody knew that it was going to be Ellsworth the pay-per-view, because they needed a way to book themselves out of this corner, again, as I just said. And, yeah, Ellsworth went to ringside. Carmella hit Asuka with a super kick to the back of the head and pinned her. Now, I get that Asuka's now lost, so you can have her lose a little bit more frequently, but that doesn't mean she should be losing in her first pay-per-view match. I thought, honestly, that this was the time to give Asuka the belt, just because Carmella's fine, like, when she's talking. She's obnoxious, which is exactly what a heel's supposed to be. But when you put her in the ring and give her 10+ minutes to have a match, it is very shocking how green she still is after all this time. And I think even if watching women on this show, like Ronda Rousey is such a better fit for this than Carmella is. Carmella, when I watched her in the ring, she didn't look like she was fit for wrestling. And that's really offensive. And, it's not... I don't dislike Carmella. I think she's got a lot of upside. I think she's very beautiful. I think that definitely helps. She's got a good body. She's got a good look. She's got a different kind of style. She's got a voice that I think is definitely, it's not generic. She's got all this going for her, but the one thing she doesn't is her in-ring ability. It's very lacking. When you look at the women who've come through NXT, your Baileys, your Sasha Bankses, your Charlottes, your Becky Lynches, the women who've just come up, like your Ember Moons, the girls that are there now, your Nikki Crosses, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, even like Lacey Evans, they are all so far ahead of Carmella, and it's just shocking to see how far behind she is. This matchup, it wasn't bad again. It was just kind of nothing. And saying nothing about an Asuka match is honestly saying it was a bad Asuka match. 2.5 stars, just kind of nothing. I could go 2 3/4, but I need the finish being so kind of predictable and being so just kind of 1-0. Everyone kind of expected it. 2.5 stars. Just kind of nothing match. Not great, not good, but not bad. After that, I think we did pick up a lot after that, to be fair. We had the last man standing match, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE title. These guys finally had their great match. Finally. This wasn't as good as their New Japan match. This wasn't. I'm going to say it now. Wasn't. That match is... I don't think they'd ever beat that. But it was great. This was a truly great last man standing match. I think last man standing matches are very hard to do because the pace needs to be slower. But I think the slower pacing really helped these guys. They went 30 minutes, and to me it never dragged. The first part of it was more about them just wrestling each other. It was more like a singles match. There's a second half where they started to incorporate a lot of weapons, and that's when it honestly kicked into a proper high gear. The first half was like great, and there was all the great grappling, and Nakamura being this cocky little bastard. He did the stuff in the corner with his feet, and you know, the axe kick to the back of the head, and he went for a Kinshasa to Styles, and Styles caught him with that forearm, which is just excellent to watch. Obviously gave him a forearm on the floor again, but it was when they started to bring in the weapons, and they teased a superplex through the table, and AJ escaped that. And Nakamura basically put the table in the corner and then just threw AJ through it. AJ got up by 10, and then they went out the ring, and both men were just fighting. Nakamura gave AJ a Kinshasa that sent AJ onto the announce table, and then an excellent piece of psychology and storytelling. The only way AJ was able to stand up is because he basically rolled off the table onto his feet, and I thought that was excellent psychology. Nakamura gave him a second Kinshasa outside of the ring. AJ got up after that again, and this just infuriated Nakamura, and AJ started to really get pissed off, and he threw chair shots at Nakamura. He was angry. He was attacking the leg of Nakamura. He locked him in a calf crusher in the ring, and he honestly tacked the leg with Nakamura with so much venom and malice, and with a chair. And Nakamura saying, "No, please don't," and Nakamura hit him in the AJ hit him in the shoulder with the chair, and Nakamura was on his knees begging on the outside of the ring, "Styles, please don't hit me." And Styles was going to hit him in the head. Low blow from Nakamura. That was just. It was great. That was really, really good. That was a great little moment there. Styles gets up by 9. Nakamura gives him a Kinshasa. Styles gets up by 9. He goes for second Kinshasa, but Styles this time counters it, and then gives Nakamura a Styles clash off the stage steps to the floor. Nakamura gets up at 9. Nakamura smiles at Styles. Styles kicks him right in the balls, and then Nakamura's leaning against the announce table. Styles goes into the ring. Does a springboard, a phenomenal forearm to Nakamura through the announce table. Nakamura can't make the count of 10. Styles makes it AJ Styles retains the WWE title. Not the way I saw this going. I saw Nakamura actually finally winning. This has to be the end of the feud, and I don't think Nakamura looks bad after this match. I think it was nice actually to see, what I said to my friend was, it was nice to see Nakamura get his comeuppance in the end actually, because in the end it was a low blow that basically put him out. He took the low blow, then took the phenomenal forearm through the table. So it was nice, and I said this to my friend, I was like, you know what? I said, I kind of wanted more low blows, but that's just because I kind of like it as a gimmick. And he said to me, you know what? No, I think there was enough. And I was like, you know what? You're probably right. There probably was enough. One each, and one of them was led to the finish. So it's a nice story. They've wrapped up this feud. It wasn't an amazing feud, honestly. The promos were okay. The promos were better than the wrestling, to be fair, but this was a fantastic way to go out on, the best match they had. I'm going to give this 4.5 stars, which was the best match on the show by a long way, I think. And, yeah, kudos to these guys. On the NXT show, this probably would have been, like, the third best match. So kudos to these two guys, because they did very well with the last man standing stipulation, and I am interested to see where we go with Styles next, because he's had a long title reign now, and 222 days, I think. And I'm interested to see what they do with Nakamura now, because he's in the minute not damaged goods, but he needs something. He needs to go into a feud with somebody strong, and he needs to win it. And he needs to, I would say, get back in that WWE title picture, maybe by the end of the year, because I think that he needs the title at some point. But yeah, 4.5 stars, really excellent match from these guys. Okay, so moving on. Raw Women's title. Shocked to see this booked over the men's WWE title match, but yeah, it was. It was my girl Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax. This went longer than I thought actually, and this was interesting. I thought this was okay. I thought Ronda was very good. I think she's just got it. Honestly, I think she understands the business. I think her selling. There was one excellent piece of selling from Ronda, which I've never seen before, but I just thought was genius. And if it was a mistake and she just fell, then fine. But like if this was her idea, then it was fantastic. Nia Jax, Ronda's great strategy at the beginning was every time Jax put her in a hot something, go for a submission. So Ronda went for a Kimura, and then she went for the armbar, and then she went for a rear naked choke, and then she went for the triangle submission. And the triangle, the Hell's Gate kind of thing. And she got the Hell's Gate kind of thing. Nia Jax picked her up and powerbombed her. And as Ronda got up, as she was selling it, she fell out the ring. And that was just something I'd never seen before. And I was actually so proud of her for selling something so differently. And so, I've never seen it before. So yeah, Ronda got back in the ring. She went in there, House of Fury, strikes, doing everything to beat Nia Jax. Nia Jax, though, got a Samoan drop in. Ronda Rousey kicked out. She just fought, and it was this absolutely great moment where Ronda was fighting to get Nia Jax in the armbar. And she fought and she fought and she fought and she wrapped the arm around Ronda, Nia Jax's other arms on the other side, and Nia Jax is just like, no. Ronda Rousey's like, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea what's going to happen. And just as she goes to lock it in, Alexa Bliss runs in with the briefcase, attacks Ronda Rousey, DQ, end of the matchup. Alexa Bliss cashes in a Money in the Bank, attacks both women with the briefcase, cashes in a Money in the Bank, and we have a Raw Women's title match, Nia Jax against Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss DDTs her, spikes her arm, which Ronda had worked on the arm for most of the match, hits the Twisted Bliss off the top. Alexa Bliss wins the Raw Women's title. Now, the one thing that me and my friend said when Alexa won the briefcase was she'd be great with the briefcase because it fits her style and it fits her gimmick. And the briefcase is always better on a heel, I believe. That reason's gone. That reason is useless now. And I get that, again, they needed to find a way to book themselves out of a corner. They couldn't have Ronda lose, but they couldn't really have Nia Jax lose her belt this quickly. Or just lose, to be fair. They didn't want Ronda to get the belt too quickly, but they also didn't want Ronda to lose, I think. So they decided to just give the belt back to Bliss. It's honestly been like 3 months since Bliss had the belt. I think it's pointless. I think it's generally pointless. It angered me a little bit, but it's wrestling. I don't get that angry at wrestling anymore. I guess the Jinder Mahal thing a year ago was different. But I think it's just because everyone else's reaction was so unlike mine last year. I think everyone, everyone likes Bliss. I like Bliss. Chicago liked Bliss. But, I don't know, just a waste. Just a waste. The matchup with Rousey and Nia Jax I thought was decent. I give it 2 3/4 stars. But I don't rate the cash-in because it lasted 14 seconds. Just a waste. To me, it was just a waste of something cool. It was a waste of Rousey's first singles match on pay-per-view. Now we had the main event, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Braun Strowman, Kevin Owens, Bobby Roode, Finn Balor, Rusev, and member of the New Day, which turned out to be Kofi Kingston, Samoa Joe, and The Miz. This was great, I think, because of how they got rid of Strowman early. They took him up the ramp, they all threw all the ladders on him, they thought he was gone. And then there was this great moment towards the midway point maybe, where Balor went to get this really big ladder, and he was pulling it back from the top of the ramp, and Strowman just grabs the ladder, and Balor turns around and is like, oh shit. It was so cool to watch Braun Strowman just maim everybody. But the one thing I didn't like about this matchup was how everybody else was just a side character. Bobby Roode did nothing. Honestly, I don't think Kofi Kingston did that a lot. He did the trust fall to the outside on everyone, and then Finn Balor did a great tope con hero over the top rope on everybody. But I don't think Kofi did anything. Bobby Roode didn't really do much. Miz didn't really do much. I think he hit a skull-crushing finale onto Joe on a ladder, maybe. Joe didn't really do anything. Joe helped them kind of take out Braun Strowman for a bit. Joe put the Coquina clutch on Strowman for a second. They laid him on a table near the ramp. And Kevin Owens climbed this really tall ladder. It was about 15 foot, I think. And basically he was going to do a frog splash onto Strowman off the ladder. Instead, Strowman fought off Rusev and Joe, who were holding him on the table. Strowman climbed the ladder, met Owens in the middle, pulled him up to the top, and then threw him through about 3 tables at near the technical area. That was a cool spot. That did kill Owens. Owens was out of the match at that point, but that was a cool spot, and I think that was a really, really good spot. Genuinely, that was a really, really cool spot. Watching that, it was cool. Best spot of the night, to be fair. Then Strowman just kills everybody. Kills Rusev and Joe. There's Balor and Roode who have a ladder, and they've got sides of it each, and Strowman just ran through the ladder and just killed them both. Miz was in the ring. Strowman killed Miz. Just killed him. Just killing everybody. I just feel like no one else really got anything in. I think Balor did a cool spot. There was a ladder on the outside of the ring, and the Miz was in the inside of the ring. He did a coup de grace off that ladder onto Miz. That was kind of a cool spot. In the end, though, we had 3 men on the ladder. There was Braun Strowman, there was Kofi Kingston on his back, and there was Finn Balor on the other side of the ladder. Strowman throws Kofi Kingston off his back. He knocks Finn Balor off the ladder, climbs, retrieves the briefcase. Braun Strowman is Mr. Money in the Bank. Now, after the show, Strowman did a thing on WWE.com. Strowman challenged Brock Lesnar. I imagine we're getting Lesnar-Strowman at SummerSlam, because Strowman is not a person, not a character that you can build the briefcase around him being sneaky with it. So I would definitely just say I'm cashing on you at SummerSlam, and that's going to be the main event. And then I have a strange feeling Strowman's going to take the belt, because they wouldn't give him the briefcase just to have him lose it, I don't think. I think he deserves it. This is what my friend said. At least he deserves it. And I was just like, you know, he does, but I don't know. Strowman with the briefcase. Strowman doesn't need the briefcase. It's like Bliss. Bliss doesn't really need the briefcase. Strowman didn't. I feel like Balor could have used the briefcase. Joe, I think, really could have used the briefcase. And I think that member of the New Day, Kofi, could have been a real shock if they'd gone with something totally different and out of left field and given him the briefcase. But I digress. This was a very fun Money in the Bank. I think this was better than the women's. 3 3/4 stars to the main event of the show. It was fun. There was some really, really cool spots. And an unlikely winner, as much as it was pushed to us that he was pretty much going to be the winner. Michael Cole said he'd bet the mortgage on his house that Strowman was going to win, to which case we should have seen that he was going to win. But yeah, that ends Money in the Bank 2018. And yeah, I'm going to give the show a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty good show. There was a load of matches that meant nothing. The Lashley Zayn match, the Roman Jinder match, the SmackDown Women's title match. But there was some real quality here. The last man standing match was excellent. I thought the Money in the Bank ladder match at the end of the show was really, really good. The IC title match was very fun. I thought that the woman's Money in the Bank, which is pretty good. And I just think the Rousey singles debut, I think she did very, very well. So 7 out of 10. This ends my review of Money in the Bank 2018. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been Rob Ocelot. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to Money in the Bank 2018? Do you think the show was too long? Because that was the thing that kind of hit me. Every show we're doing seems to be 4 hours now, which means it does start an hour early, which I don't mind. But do you think it was too long? What did you think to the main event? What did you think to Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss, the mixed match challenge team, winning the briefcases? What do you think to the last man standing match? What do you think to AJ Styles retaining the title there? What did you think to Asuka? What did you think to Ronda Rousey's debut? And what did you think to Seth Rollins' Intercontinental title reign? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Ocelot.